Good afternoon, guys. Day 6 of the video blog. I'm a little bit behind, actually, kind of a lot bit behind, I guess. I barely played yesterday. I got in like an hour, which is pretty piss poor. But I don't know. I'm not beating myself up too much about it. I'm pretty confident that if I do need to put in like 10, 12-hour days, like I will. Um, I really just like had a lot of stuff going on yesterday. I have some good friends who live in the apartment on the same floor as us, and they're moving out on Sunday, and I'm gonna miss them. And it's been fun hanging out with them. And this opportunity to go out last night and have some fun. And just I had commitments during the day I'd already made. So yeah, whatever, shit happens, and I'm gonna get after it today. So anyway, there's a concept in my mind that I really want to talk about, and it's a really huge concept. I'm not going to try and talk and explain it fully in this video, but I just wanted to kind of put this idea out there and see what you guys thought about it. Maybe you guys will have some stories where it's like had an impact in your life. Maybe you'll have questions. Maybe you'll think it's BS. I don't know. That's cool. But to me, it's a really valuable concept, and it's kind of a dual concept. It's momentum, and funny I'm talking about momentum after just like basically taking a day off, but momentum and congruency. Basically, with respect to momentum, everything that you do in life, I feel it. It's like a snowball. It's like you're pushing a snowball up like a very slight gradient, and you're shoving it, and you're shoving it, and you're shoving it in the direction that you want to go, and it starts to carry a little bit of momentum. But if you stop pushing it at any time and you move out of the way, it's gonna roll backwards. And it illustrates a concept that I've long known, which is that every day that you do anything, whether it's poker, whether it's a sport, whether it's going out and socializing, every day that goes by, whether you do it or you don't do it, you put time into it or you don't put time in it, every skill you have gets better or worse. Nothing in life ever stays the same. Like, there's no such thing as static skill sets. Even like basic math. I mean, think about it. If you recite your multiplication tables all the time, you're going to get pretty quick at it. And if you haven't thought about that stuff for a long time, it's going to take longer. I'm not saying you're going to forget, but you're not going to do it in the same amount of fraction of a second that you might otherwise. Everything in life, you get better, you get worse. And basically, when you have momentum building in a positive direction, it gets easier to take more opportunities. Like, for instance, saying you're starting a business. You have an idea in your head for a business, and you start reading some business books or some books on the topic, some books on things related to the business that you have kind of a vague conception for. And then you meet somebody who is involved in the field of your potential business idea. You talk to them, and you've got some ideas in your head about your business already. So it's a little bit easier to talk to them. It's easier to take that opportunity. And perhaps they become a contact. You become friends with them. And now you start, bouncing ideas off that person, asking them questions. Hey, I thought about this today. Like, can you tell me, like, do you know anything? And they probably will, or maybe they won't. But either way, you now have a contact and you're building in the direction of this idea. And what can happen is then, it starts helping your idea in your brain kind of form legs. You start to, bring it together more. You start to conceptualize what it is you're really thinking about. You may have just started with a very vague notion of the direction you wanted to go, but as you put it out there, you're going to start seeing opportunities to meet people who can help you. You're going to start seeing opportunities to learn more, and it's going to start kind of taking shape. And the more it takes shape, the easier it will become when you see an opportunity for growth to take it, because you have something substantial. You meet somebody else now, and you're saying, hey, I'm already talking to this person, and we've kind of come to this idea. What do you think about it? You have a direction to go, and it builds and it builds and it builds. That's pushing the snowball. And the other side of that is, say you don't do stuff like that. You meet somebody who works in a field that you have some idea about, but you're like, I don't really know anything. I'm not going to talk to that person. They'll think I'm an idiot. Like, they're not going to be able to help me. I haven't done the stuff I need to do first. And you let that opportunity go by. Well, that's the gradient. Because it's not break even to pass on an opportunity. It's it fosters the notion that you're someone who does pass on opportunities. Every time you have a chance to to build in a direction that you can envision your life going, and you let it slip away, you reassure yourself that that's what you do in life, that you don't really make your dreams come true. You don't really work toward the things you want. You reassure yourself that, hey, like, we don't do that. That's not really us. And you're right, because it's not, and it becomes more not you every day that you let it. And that's where congruence becomes a factor. If you're someone who does do these things, you do talk to people, you do build in the direction you want to go, whether it's in poker, whether it's in a business, whether it's in going out and talking to people and making new friends. It doesn't matter what it is. The more you do what you kind of picture, your best self would do, the easier it becomes. And the more you see the opportunities to do the things that you know you'd ideally be doing, and you don't do them, you find an excuse to sell yourself on why not to do the things in your mind, well, you're just reaffirming the notion that those aren't things you really do, and that that's not realistic. And if you reaffirm that notion, it'll be true. If you tell yourself every day that, going up to, pretty girls in the street and, giving them a compliment and saying nice to meet you is unrealistic, well, it is for you, because you don't do it. And every day that goes by, you remind yourself that you're not someone who would do that, and it becomes more true, and it becomes more congruent with who you are as a person to not do that. But if every day that you see a stranger and, something sparks your mind, like you like their coat, you like their shoes, you like their smile, it doesn't matter if it's a girl, it doesn't matter if it's a guy, it doesn't matter what, you say, hey, like, what's up? I noticed this, I think that's really cool, it becomes more congruent for you as a person to do these things, and it becomes weird not to, I was sitting next to some people at dinner, and they were, I think one guy was from Belgium, one guy was from Italy, and one guy was from the U.S., and they're at this Thai restaurant I go to all the time, and I could overhear the conversation. They're looking at the menu, and they have no idea what to order, and I go to this place all the time, and the food's fantastic, and I just, like, kind of, said, excuse me, I was like, I come to this restaurant a lot, if you guys don't know what to order, try the D3 and the D16, they're both fantastic. I ended up talking to people for a while, and they're really cool. But it would have been weird for me to not say that. It would have been weird for me to not be friendly, to not say, hey, like, how are you guys? And, like, I don't know, it's just my personality. But the more I interact with people, and the more I'm genuine, the easier it becomes, and the more natural it is. And the more it becomes weird, like, I just can't say enough, it becomes weird not to. And it's the same with if you have a business idea. It's the same with whatever it is you want to do in life. If you start building the positive momentum in the direction you want to go, it becomes strange to let opportunities pass you by. And if you keep letting opportunities pass you by, it becomes strange to take an opportunity. It's incongruent with who you are as a person to actually take action or do something, because it's just like you've reinforced the notion that you don't. And I'm just saying, basically, whatever it is you want to do, reinforce the notion that you do. For me, reinforce the notion in my brain that I get up, I make a coffee, I make a video blog, and I play poker for 8 hours. That's what I do. And every day that I do it, I think will get easier. Granted, I know I didn't do it yesterday, and I'm by no means a perfect person. But that's the general idea, And I think it can help in a lot of ways in life, and I don't really think there's a way to build toward things without, perhaps having an unconscious understanding, but having an understanding of these concepts, momentum and congruence. I'm going to talk about them more. I think they relate a lot to upswings and downswings, specifically in poker, and I think that's really interesting. I think they relate to literally everything, and I hope you guys have some thoughts on it, because I think it's a really interesting concept. So that was my thought for the day, and yeah, thanks for watching.